Yo, what is going on, gamers? Today, this is a video. I wanted to talk a little bit about Kingdom Hearts 4. It's one of those games that I'm really excited for, but I'm also excited for the Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 Rebirth and Crisis Core and all the things going on at Square Enix right now. But today, I mainly wanted to talk about the fact that Kingdom Hearts 4, we actually had thought was going to come out before Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 because it was announced first, but it did not have a release window. And it's appearing to seem like we're getting a general idea on how quick we are getting these Square Enix games and when they may be coming out. And I wanted to talk today to say that Kingdom Hearts 4 will probably end up coming out sometime actually in 2024, I want to say. That is my essentially a guess in a way, but I wanted to say 2024 because the reason why is because Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 is coming out next winter, as you all may know now, as well as Crisis Core comes out this coming winter, so that could be, you know, December into like March, depending, so it could go into 2023 for Crisis Core. And then Final Fantasy VII Rebirth could be end of 2023 into the beginning of 2024. But nonetheless, it gives me a general idea that I think that Kingdom Hearts 4 is still coming by some point, maybe in 2024. And what I think is really cool about this is the fact that Square Enix games seem to be coming out a lot faster after they're announced than they used to. As we are in 2022, and Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 got its first teaser and a release window, possibly coming out a little over 3 years after the first part, whereas Part 1 actually was announced back in 2015 and did not come out until the year 2020, so that was 5 years after the first game had released. Kingdom Hearts 3 was announced back in 2013 with its first teaser trailer and did not come out for 6 years back until 2019. So I think it's cool that Square Enix games, it's looking like 4 years tops for their games to essentially come out after their original releases of their announcements. 2 to 4 years it's seeming like, in a way. Kingdom Hearts 3 was announced this year in 2022, and it looks like it could release in 2024. Look, I'm not guaranteeing that. I'm not saying it's for sure, but I feel like there's a good chance that it could come out later in 2022. I haven't looked into Dragon Quest 12 and anything on that, as I hadn't played Dragon Quest before, really. I know, I'm sorry. I thought about playing 11, I don't know. It's the whole turn-based thing. But, so I'm not sure on Dragon Quest, but I think it's, the Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 Rebirth really has given us an idea that they're working really hard at these titles. And, Kingdom Hearts 4, I believe, was in development originally. As soon as Kingdom Hearts 3 came out, I think Kingdom Hearts 4 started development back in 2019, even though we had DLC and stuff like that going on as well. So I believe, I'm pretty sure, I'm confident that 2024 will be a solid date. Now, I'm positive that it's not going to come out in 2023, because if you look at the release schedule, well, we have Crisis Core at the end of this year, possibly the beginning of next year, and then we have Final Fantasy 16 in the summer of 2023, and then we have Part 2 of Final Fantasy VII Remake Rebirth in 2023, possibly that winter. So there's a lot going on in 2023 for Square Enix games, and I think it's really insane to me how fast that Square Enix is starting to come out with their games versus before, whereas before it would be 5 to 6 years at least. And then we look at Final Fantasy 15 as well, which was essentially in development hell for a while and was like a 10-year long development cycle for that game, unfortunately. And I think it's really cool now that when they announce a new game, it comes out within 3 to 4 years, give or take, now at this point. And we're starting to get to a point where Square Enix, yes, they can delay their titles, but I don't think they would delay it for like too long. And I think this is really cool to me that Square Enix is starting to pump out their games a lot quicker. Not to mention Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3 is already in its early stages of development as at the same time that Part 2 is in development right now. So there is a slight chance that we could end up getting Part 3 just 2 years after Part 2 instead of waiting 3.5 years. which I think that's also really awesome, but it's hard to tell. I don't know. These games take a lot of work and a lot of time, but I think they're doing really well over at Square Enix, and how much time they're managing to pump out their games, and they're not even rushing them either, right? Their games are very high quality when it comes to their Final Fantasy, their Kingdom Hearts, their Dragon Quest. It's all very high quality products, and I think that it's just very awesome to me that these games are coming out sooner rather than later now, and they're not even being rushed. I think their teams are just working very, very hard and enjoying what they're doing in creating these games and stories, and I think they are just managing things a lot better than they used to. As I remember with Kingdom Hearts 3, I believe they switched development cycles or engines in the middle of development, and Final Fantasy VII Remake also was having troubles as well. It also had issues where they were flipping development teams or engines or something like that. There was an issue there as well. They switched development teams with Final Fantasy VII Remake, I believe. And Kingdom Hearts 3, they had switched engines in the middle of development cycle. So that's it's a perfect example of that as well would be like Metroid Prime 4, even though that's off topic. They completely flipped the development cycle for that game, so essentially remapped the entire game. So what I'm trying to say is that right now they have a firm team, they have a solid team, they have the same engine being reused from the previous titles, and it's just a lot easier for them, it's seeming like, than it was before for Nomura and both the directors, the producers, all of them, the team itself. It's seeming like it's a lot easier for Square Enix to develop their games faster and at a more seamless pace, and it's a lot easier for them now than it was 5 to 6 years ago. So that's basically what I wanted to talk about today. We're getting a general idea on when Kingdom Hearts 4 may be releasing. So let me know your guys' thoughts on when Kingdom Hearts 3 may be releasing. I personally believe it might be mid to late 2024. My guess is late 2024, since we don't want it to be too close to Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2. I would say late 2024. I don't think it'll be 2025. If it was, it would be early 2025. I don't know where Dragon Quest 12 will be fit in there. But I'm just taking a gander here. I do believe that the development cycles are just going a lot faster than they used to, which is really cool. So I think Kingdom Hearts 4, I can confidently say that I personally believe we will get more information on that in the future. And by future, I mean next year. We will get quite a bit, I'm sure. And then sometime in 2024, we will get a lot more information and then trailers and stuff. And the game will come out probably in 2024. So yeah, it's awesome on Square Enix, what's going on there, and how quick their games are being developed. But I don't know, let me know your guys' thoughts on everything. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Please be sure to like the video if you did enjoy. Maybe subscribe to the channel as well, as I talk about all the different things related to video games and Square Enix and the whole Final Fantasy VII and Kingdom Hearts stuff going on and stuff. So yeah, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Later.